Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. All right. We got a letter here that came in from Robert Fleck. And Robert says, I want to talk to you about a recent revelation I had when I went back to some of the basics of the PPGS, specifically the grip. For years, you've been telling golfers that they need a firm grip, while we all know the famous Sam Snead's advice of a very light grip. Yeah, he said, hold it like a baby bird. Okay? That's about as much garbage as I can take in one day. All right? I guarantee you, Sam Snead did not hold it like a baby bird. Not at any time. And I'm going to make a comment when I get into the talking about it out there about it. I realized recently while working on the range that there's a way you're both right. The part of your advice on the grip that most golfers miss is that you're talking specifically about the last three fingers of the hand, middle finger, ring finger, and the pinky. Gripping in that order with reasonably firm pressure. Yes, quite firm, and gripping upward. I'm squeezing upward. Okay? Meanwhile, the thumb and index fingers should remain light on the club. I know in your instruction, you explain why, based on physiology, the combination is important. To grip with the fingers, you actually use the muscles of the forearm, and the lifting muscles are activated in conjunction with those last three fingers. Yes, you have two muscle groups in your arm. You have, when you squeeze, you can see that these muscles on the lower arm, the inside muscles and the outside, are both activated. Those are the lifters and the pullers. So they lift the club up, they pull it down, they lift it up in the backswing, pull it down in the forward swing, and then lift it up swinging up to the tee finish. So they got two jobs of lifting from here to there and pulling down back to impact. Okay. Now you can't, if you grip too tightly and squeeze downward on the club, you activate these upper muscle groups, the outer and inner on each hand. Those don't do anything other than have nothing to do with swinging a golf club in terms of lifting and pulling the club. Okay, so that's what Robert is talking about here. If you grip firmly with all five fingers, you end up activating the muscles on both sides of the arm, which create competing tension and thus drag on the club, on the swing. I was having a lot of issues with my release recently, and when I remembered the simple fact of the PPGS, it made the swing completely natural again. At least that was my experience. What do I think? I think you're correct. Now, let me discuss what we're going to call here with the pointer finger and the thumb. Excuse me. What Robert's saying is if you squeeze too tight with these two fingers, and the only way basically you can squeeze real tight with these two fingers in your right hand is to squeeze downward, all right? And that will activate these muscles. And every bit you activate these is deactivating the lifter muscles, the outer and inner muscle group of the right hand. I believe we have equal grip pressure with both hands, and we have to try to swing both hands with the same amount of lift, pull, and lift. Same grip pressure and same amount of speed. Because there's a lot of physics that says if two or more things are involved in the movement of an object, two hands swinging a golf club, they must be equal in pressure, speeds, and everything else. Because if they're not, the one doing lesser than the greater will put that system into drag, and drag is a negative effect. Drag means it's going to slow it down. It's going to be a hindrance. And what does everybody tell a right-handed golfer about using the right hand? Don't use it. It's a bad one. It's going to hurt your swing. Therefore, to be the left hand for a left-handed golfer. That's absolutely crazy. First off, I'm right-handed, and most of us who are playing golf are right-handed, and we have more touch, more strength, more sensitivity, more feel, everything in this hand, and they're telling you not to use it. They're telling you to hold it like a baby bird. Crazy. You got to hold them both equal. But what you have to have in this hand is that you have to have what I call the trigger position. If you were holding a pistol right here, and you got your hand wrapped around the handle of it, your finger goes through the trigger, it touches up against, comes up very close to your thumb. Well, we have to have that trigger in golf. This is the thing that triggers the control and your sensitivity of the face. I believe the right hand is the most critical hand in swinging, or the lower hand is the most critical one, because number one, it mirrors the face. So whatever the lower hand does, the right hand for righty, left for lefty, the face is responding the same way. So you have to have, and what I see with a lot of people is they don't even have the right thumb index club. Many people, it's just hanging here, or it's here. You need to have the inside of your bottom thumb, upper bottom thumb, touching the club, and then the index finger needs to come over and touch to it and stay with it, and you must have enough pressure in there to keep it so that it doesn't flop in that V. In other words, if you were casting a fishing rod, you'd go back and forth like this. I once gave a golf lesson to a gentleman that had won a number of world championships in fly casting for accuracy. And when he was cocking and setting the club at the top, when I talked to him about no wrist cock and everything else, he said, "Boy, I can't believe I was doing that." And he told me, he said, "I'm not bragging, but I've won the world championship numerous times, and people come to me for fly casting lessons, and I teach them that back and through there's no wrist cocking." But it's all, the big point here is this. This isn't squeezing as hard as these, but there's enough of that thumb pressure down to the side, and this index coming up to it, so that we have what? It's solid. It does not flip or flop. We don't want flipping or flopping. If you got that, you do not have control of the golf club. So these two are still actively engaged. The greatest amount of pressure is correctly here, as Robert said. It's here, but you can't forget these. And I too often see this right finger, index finger, just hanging off the club. You must have it wrapped up and touching the thumb, which is touching the side of the grip, and keep it there and keep it firm, and that nothing happens to this club. It stays firmly tight in the hands, so that the club only does what you want it to do. Do that, you'll be hitting it much more solid straight and shooting those lower scores. That's it for the search for today on good grip pressure. That was a great question by Robert, and hopefully this answer will help you out. If you got a hanging index finger on your bottom hand, got to get that in there so we get that nice, firm, solid club locked in there where it's not flopping around. Well, that's it for the search for today, and I'll be speaking with you all again soon.